Well, it's not really usual for me to start out a video inside my vehicle, but today I got where I was going, and even though there was supposed to be just a very, very slim chance of rain, I seem to have found it, because as soon as I got here and started to take a few video clips, it started to pour, and it's also very windy and everything too. So I figured I'd come back to the truck, get in here and kind of warm up, dry off a little bit, and kind of see if the rain passes, which it seems like it's starting to kind of do. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. So from very early on in my photography career, I always would try to get like the sharpest pictures possible. I was always attracted to landscapes that were sharp, detailed, high resolution, as much as possible. Well, in later years, I've started to appreciate more of the softer, grainier, kind of abstract look of certain photos. So the style, my style is not really changing. It's just that I have kind of started to add that to my style a little bit. And, if I want to kind of switch things up, do something a little bit different. So I haven't really exactly abandoned, my sharp, high resolution type style. I like those kinds of pictures. I like looking at other people's pictures that are like that. But I also have started to appreciate the more grainy, ethereal look of, certain kinds of pictures. So one of the ways that you can get this soft look is by using a pinhole camera. Pinholes give you a lot of depth of field, but really not much sharpness. There's obviously, being a pinhole, there's no glass involved. It's just the aperture. Now, I've been interested in pinhole cameras for quite a while now, pinhole cameras and pinhole lenses. And I first started experimenting with it back when I first got my first digital camera. I took a piece of aluminum foil, poked a pinhole in it, and mounted that on a piece of cardboard, and basically just kind of, I think I just put some rubber bands around it and put it on the front of the camera and held it up to it, and lo and behold, it worked. I was very happy with it, even though it was just a picture of my car at the time. But I was amazed that it worked and everything. And I thought, well, this is kind of cool. It gives sort of a strange look to things. The next time I did it, I kind of did a little bit more. I refined it. I made sure that the pinhole was more uniform, a little bit sharper, and I mounted it in an actual body cap that I used on a full frame camera, and it looked better. It was getting better each time I tried it. For one thing, I was using a full frame, so I got a little bit more resolution, and by going to full frame, it widened the field of view a little bit more. So I was getting a little bit more of like a normal lens type of thing, about like a 45 or 50 millimeter lens equivalent. So that was pretty good, but I still wanted a little bit more detail. So then I went and bought what's called a Thingyfy, it's a brand name, Thingyfy pinhole, and they are precision drilled, I don't know if they're laser drilled or just drilled, actual pinhole lenses that, clip on like a regular lens does. And that also got better. It gave me a much better image. But it still wasn't quite what I was looking for. I still wanted something wider. This was still giving me like about a 50 millimeter equivalent focal length. And I kept wanting something wider, and I still wanted a little bit more resolution in it so that it's a little bit easier to see what it was you're looking at. Because some of the images, even though you could tell what it is still like almost too soft. Then I started realizing, well, the only way to do that would be to go to like a larger format. Larger format digital is kind of out of the question because it's too expensive. There's no way I could afford like a medium format digital camera to do that with. So that leaves film. I thought about trying it with my 4x5 because that would be easy enough to just drill a hole, for a pinhole to do 4x5 pinhole. And it would probably work, except that it'd be a lot of experimentation, and 4x5 film is not cheap, especially now. So I didn't really want to be experimenting with really expensive film. So that was kind of out. So medium format film was probably going to be what I needed. And for a long time, I couldn't really zero in on a good, option for that until recently. So about a year ago, the company that I work with has some 3D printers, and a couple of the guys that were training on these were trying to look for projects to do that they could just train on and make 3D prints of and everything. Well, one of the guys was kind of interested in pinhole photography. He had just kind of discovered it. And so he printed a couple cameras. One of them was a 35 millimeter, which I wasn't real thrilled about because I already knew what 35 millimeter pinhole was going to look like. But the other one was a full medium format pinhole camera. And what made it better was it was a wide angle lens, basically a wide angle, view. So I asked him, can you print me one of these too? And so he did. So the camera is called a TerraPin 120, and it's available online, and you basically print out the parts. It's sort of like almost like building a model. Well, it looks as though the rain has started to subside a little bit. It's still raining a slight bit, but not anywhere near as bad as it was. So I think I'm going to get out and take a look around and find some things to photograph. Well, I really picked a bad day to do a video because conditions are actually pretty good. If I wasn't doing a video, this would probably be all right. But I'm trying to get this portion of the lake back here. I'm hoping that maybe with the very slow shutter speeds, it'll look pretty cool. Maybe with some of these clouds and stuff in the background. I'm not real sure what the audio is doing with the wind and stuff right now, because there's wind, there's rain. I just had some a bit of sleet and hail and stuff come through. So it's been not real great. This is the pinhole camera, and as you can see, I'm kind of getting this shot of the marsh and stuff here. Not real sure what it's going to look like. I'm hoping to get some of these clouds. I'm kind of waiting for some of these clouds to come floating over that way and see what it looks like. I'm also kind of looking at maybe getting sort of a sweep in these reeds. So we'll see what this ends up looking like. Thing about it is I have a lot of sun, rain. I mean, it's such a mixture and it's moving through so quickly. It's hard to really get a good solid meter reading on anything. It's just going to be a crapshoot, I think, and figure out what works and what doesn't. I might have to do a lot of dodging and burning and stuff, so we'll see. Yeah, this is not the video I envisioned making today. I cannot decide whether it's raining or if it's sunny, because it's literally like every few seconds it's one or the other. And now it's kind of like sleeting again. The wind is just, you know, this is crazy. I mean, look at this. It's like coming down sleeting and stuff. Look at the lake behind me. There's, man. Yeah, I've been literally waiting like months to make this video because I've been kind of fooling around with this camera and everything and wanted to kind of take it out. Oh, I'm going to do a video on this, but man, it's just the weather. I mean, I wanted it rough weather, but I didn't know it was going to do this. Like, I literally cannot, from one minute to the next, I cannot decide if I need my, you know, rain gear on or not. Or, I mean, I didn't bring rain gear for me, but I mean for the camera. I mean, it's just crazy. So for this shot here, I just kind of did the same metering as on the other shot, just 32 seconds. And it's going to be, the aperture is about f180 is what the aperture of this pinhole is. So yeah, 32 seconds. Well, weather being as it may, I'm hanging in there. I actually got this scene just now. Wanted to get this area of the water and stuff like that, some of these clouds that were going over. I actually took two shots. I took one where it's like now it's kind of overcast, and then for a brief period the sun came out and sort of lit all of this foreground area. So it kind of looked pretty good. So I actually took two shots. The first one on the overcast was about 20 seconds, and the second one was with the sun was about 3 seconds. Well, as you can tell, here I am again in the sleet and stuff. And yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day for now. Probably try it again another time. So stay tuned for the next little segment. Catch you on the flip side. Well, good morning. I'm here again doing some pinhole photography and just picking up on from where I was last time. Much better weather today. It's a little bit sunny and everything, which is fine. I want to make it clear though that last time, with the weather being so bad and everything, wasn't really necessarily bad for the type of photography I was trying to do, but it was bad for the video. So with the wind and rain and grapple and all that kind of stuff happening, just wasn't really great for the video. But today should be better. There's some challenging situations with the contrast and stuff, but we'll see what we can do. So yeah, let's go take some pictures. So what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of using this camera? Well, for one thing, it's very, very manual. And when I say that, I mean there's no lens, there's no way to focus the light, there's no aperture except for just one aperture. There is no viewfinder, so basically there's no way to actually see what you're taking a picture of. To get the scene that you're going to line up and compose, probably the best way to do it is just kind of already know what focal length you're using, what that focal length does, what it generally looks like. For me, with the extension that I have on this camera, it is basically a 20 millimeter wide angle equivalent in 35 millimeter terms. So it's a very, very wide angle camera. And knowing that going in, I basically line up my shot knowing that I'm taking in a very large area, and I just kind of crop. I'll make sure that the camera is level. I do recommend getting like a tripod or some sort of leveler on it so that you can actually get it level. After that, you can crop on the sides or in a little bit or whatever. But you're basically just kind of looking at the scene, figuring out, okay, here's the general area of where I'm getting, and that's about it. Now, as far as aperture goes, it kind of just depends on what your pinhole is going to be like when you make it. I made mine out of a little bit of aluminum can with a little bit of pinhole on it, just kind of barely tapped it and filed down the edges of the burrs to make sure that it's as round as I could possibly get it. And when you get a pinhole fairly round, the more round you can get it, the more sharp the image will actually be. So that's pretty important in trying to get a little bit sharper image. It's always going to be soft, but this will get you a little bit more sharpness. The aperture is basically a f180. And I figured that out by going online and looking at how to measure apertures in pinholes. And you can actually take a little ruler and kind of count how many pinholes are in a millimeter and figure it out that way. And that's about as close as I can figure on that. So another thing about this is that when you manually advance the film, it's between these two winders here. You basically just wind it with this side off to the, in a rotation, and the other side's going to move, so it's going through there. But there is no actual mechanism, winder, there's no automatic, there's not even any gears, it's just straight through. So it's pretty manual in that regard. So as far as this particular camera goes, I actually had to make a few modifications to make it work a little bit better. In here there are some little paddles that fit into the actual film spools that the 120 film comes on. And I actually had to shave down some of those because they fit really well on Fuji film spools, but not on Ilford. They were just slightly too big, so I had to file that down. And this is a lot easier before you build the camera rather than after it. I had already gotten everything glued together and made and stuff, and then discovered that when I tried to actually load the film. And it was a little harder trying to manipulate everything. So if you're going to be using Ilford, make sure that those fit and make sure they're filed down and that they actually slip in and out easily. Another modification I made on this particular camera is in the back there's a little film window that you can see the numbers of the film on the film paper. That way you know what frame you're on. And what I did, because there's a little bit of chance of light leak, I actually put sort of like in the old cameras, like Kodaks and stuff, they used to have like a litho window in there, and I just had some litho paper that I put in there, a little bit of red paper that kind of blocks the light just a little bit more. It does have a little door on it, so that's nice, but that window just gives you a little bit more protection. Speaking of light leaks, it is a known problem with this camera that there's a little bit of a light leak down here on the bottom where the lens goes in, where the extension goes in. And they actually have made a piece, a specialized piece, that if you don't want light leaks, when you're building it, you can put that piece in. Supposedly it helps with light leaks. I just took a little bit of foam with some adhesive on it, and that seemed to help, and I haven't had a light leak yet, so works pretty good. I just want to take a moment here to interrupt the video to point out that I did have a few light leaks happen on this second roll of film that I had. You can see it as it's coming in here from the lower portion of the frame, and it only happened on a few of them, but I did determine that most of it was on sunny weather days. Now, I've shot on sunny days before with this camera, just a couple of frames, and as I remember, I had the sun to my back, and that meant the camera was in the shade, so that's probably why it didn't affect those pictures. Now, as you can see, the last 4 frames here that I have, there is no light leaks coming in on these, so I think I'm okay. So my takeaway from this would be that you're probably okay on the overcast days, but just be aware on sunny days where you're positioning the sun at. So another word on the light leak problem. This is the shutter right here, and I would always just try and make sure that that's always in an up position. That way you're not going to actually accidentally be exposing anything. I would also suggest using some sort of either, this is a rear lens cap, just put something over it, anything really, just even a piece of cardboard would work. I use this, and it kind of clips on. Put a rubber band around it just to hold it tight. That's good. I also, just for a little extra protection, keep it in a black bag. This fits perfectly in here, and this will keep it nice and dark. Probably one of the most pronounced problems with this camera, though, that I had trouble with is actually loading it. It's a little bit hard to load. You're basically sliding it, you're taking this whole top off, and most cameras will have like a back or something that you just put the film in, pull it over, shut the back. Well, this doesn't do that. This whole top right here comes off. So basically you're left with the shell. You have a hole here for the spool for the film, and then there's a slot that goes through, and then the take-up spool here. And when I'm doing this, I have found out the hard way that you're trying to put this whole thing in by holding your unexposed film here, the reel over here, the take-up spool, and you're trying to put it all in straight down, because you have to go in straight down. And the problem is it's a very thin area that you can have to fit it into, so you almost have to like wiggle the film in. Once you get it in there and get it kind of tight and everything, works fine. But it is a little thing to keep in mind when you're loading. And I would load it in subdued light of some sort. Don't load. I wouldn't load it outside somewhere. I would try and load it in a darker room. Doesn't have to be completely dark, but subdued light. I would also like to make the suggestion that when you advance the film, kind of keep some pressure on the actual film reel, and then on the take-up one, kind of make sure that you have tension, and just make sure that that tension is there, because that's going to keep the film nice and flat through there, and there's not going to be any buckling involved. So what are the advantages of this camera? Well, it is a pinhole, so it's very basic and everything. It is built really well. It's very thick, once you print it and everything. It's a nice thick construction. So I like that. I like the window in the back for the film. Yeah, it seems to work really well. Of course, it's all manual as far as the actual exposure, so that's just up to you as to when you turn that shutter on and off. But yeah, it's pretty well. It even has a little tripod mount on the bottom, so you can put a plate on there or whatever. So one of the other advantages of this camera that I really like is that they actually make this square piece here in different lengths, so you can actually extend this out. And what that does is it makes for more of a normal, and then they have a longer one that's more of a telephoto. This one I have here is wide angle, so it's fairly flush with the body and everything, but I really like having that ability to have different kinds of focal lengths. Now, as far as metering goes, I use an external meter. This is an old Pentax spot meter. Now, you can use any kind of meter that's built into a camera or something, but ones like this are a lot easier to use, mostly because this meter goes all the way down to F128. And that's only one stop different from the F180. So I can basically meter it on that, get my time, and then figure out, add one stop to it. So really one of the other advantages that's really nice about this is you don't have to be really precise with it. It's being pinhole, all the exposures are really, really long. So, if you're off by a little bit, it doesn't really matter. I usually will add a little bit of extra time for reciprocity, and sometimes this can take you into the multi-minutes. I mean, sometimes it can be 10 or 15 minutes long, so it really can stretch out. But the advantage of this is that when you get into really long exposures like that, it doesn't really matter as much how precise you are. You don't have to have it down to the second or sometimes even the minute. You can add another minute or two and it's not going to really matter that much. Well, I found this nice little composition here that I think will work well with pinhole. I've got a little bit of trees here, and then a nice the road kind of going out, and coming into the foreground with a wide angle. So I think that's going to look pretty nice. We've also got some clouds up here that might kind of add some interest to it. So what I've done here is I've tried to make sure that the camera is level and that I've got a good composition with the road coming into the frame. And I've got the trees in the background, and hopefully the clouds show up really good and everything. And yeah, just took a meter reading off of the dark trees just to kind of make them more of a medium tone. And got a meter reading at F128 of 2 seconds. And I'm using 100 speed film. It's 100 Delta, Ilford Delta 100. And yeah, so it's going to be adding a stop to it because it's one f-stop darker. So final exposure is going to be 4 seconds at 180 on a sunny day. Can you believe that? So here's a similar shot. I like it quite a bit. The only trouble is that there are also some contrails, which are not too good. So hopefully those will dissipate. I might wait around just a little bit to see. So I basically took this shot. Of course, it's a much wider view than this and everything. The main trouble I'm having is I'm right in a traffic zone for planes, so I'm constantly getting the contrails in the sky. The one I took had a very short little contrail, so I might be able to just Photoshop it out, but yeah, we'll just see what it looks like, and hopefully it'll be a pretty nice little image. I just made an image of just kind of this grass here with the background of the lake and stuff like that, and pretty simple image. Probably going to have to crop it more horizontal just to make it more simplified, but it's 2 seconds at f/180. As the day progressed, the wind kept getting stronger and the midday lighting got harsher, so I decided to save my last 4 frames for another day and perhaps better conditions. Well, welcome back. I'm in a totally different location for this part of the video. I've decided to, instead of being in Washington, I decided to be in North Idaho, not too far from my home. And just wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit and get some different kinds of terrain for the Pinhole images, and see what, kind of different things I might be able to find. Do more forest shots, maybe, maybe some lake shots or something like that. So yeah, it's a little bit breezy today, but it is overcast. It's good light and everything. So let's see what we can find. So I was initially attracted by this scene. I was wanting to do this stone, this rock, and try and get it in with the background. But that's when I discovered that I kind of like this scene a little bit better. I kind of like the way these, with a wide angle, I can get these rocks to kind of wrap around a little bit and then get some of that, the trees and mountains in the background. So what I've done, set the camera up here, and as you can see, I've kind of got it at quite a bit of an angle. This is for so that the wide angle kind of gets in here and, you know, gets a pretty good, you know, swing on these rocks. And by that I mean I want to get these kind of going through the foreground as much as possible, kind of giving it a texture in the foreground. Then of course I'll have the trees and mountains and lake and everything in the background. Now I metered this pretty much off of these plants over here. I just got like a medium green, and it gave me a meter reading of 32 seconds. And since I don't really want to burn out the highlights too much in the sky, I decided to just leave it at 32, because I could compensate a little bit, put a little bit of extra on there for reciprocity failure, but I decided not to because I don't really need the shadows that much, and I didn't want to burn out the sky. So I just left it at 32 seconds. Hopefully that'll come out pretty good. So I'm actually kind of trying to hurry this up a little bit today because I came from the south and I hit a little bit of rain down there, so I figured it's probably wise to, since I know it's coming this way, try and get what I can while while it's still dry and relatively calm. So kind of under pressure to produce these last 4 images. Now 3 images. So I was just kind of noticing how I don't know what you would call it. It's not really a tide, but since this is a inland lake, but it's kind of weird how these waves are coming in, filling up this bay. As you kind of move in toward the bay here, it's somewhat calm, but yeah, it's just kind of weird having this little backwash of waves coming in. You can see where the silt is getting all turned up too. Yeah, in another month or so, this entire beach will probably be water all the way up to the water line up here. So I actually kind of got here at a decent time so I can actually walk along the beach a little bit. Yeah, there's the rain coming on the horizon there. That's supposed to be mountains, but yeah, here comes the wind and rain. I better get hurried. Well, just like that. Well, just like that, it turned to rain and wind. This video is really hard to make. Well, I am getting rained out again. Well, I am getting rained out again. So I'm gonna temporarily just go back to the truck and see if I can wait some of this rain out. It's really coming down too. Well, here I am back at the truck, safe and sound, nice and dry, waiting for the rain to pass again. I don't think it's going to be too long. Weather says it should pass through in the next hour or so. It seems like it's already sort of tapering off a little bit, so maybe it won't be as bad as I think. Maybe I'll get back to it. I've only got 2 more frames to do, so I'm hoping that I can get those done today and get this roll in for processing. So yeah, just waiting out the rain. Somebody's actually built this little lean-to on the shore, and what's kind of strange about it is when you walk in here, it's actually got sort of like 2 rooms. Well, this camera takes 12 frames. This is the last one. This is it. It's this piece of driftwood here. I just wanted to get that with the lake in the background. Should create a very nice slow shutter speed that brings the waves in to a nice ethereal mist kind of thing. That's going to be it for me for this video. I finished up the 12 frames on this roll and going to be getting back home and send it back in and get it back and see what we've got. And that's the fun thing about film photography, and Pinhole in particular, because you don't really know what you've got until you get it back and see it on the light table and can scan it and stuff like that. So anyway, hope you've had as much fun as I have on it. It's been sort of an up and down thing as far as the weather, but we got it done. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed it, and until next time, I'll see you on the trail. So it's much better wetter. It's much better wetter. Starting to sting.